something here. I don't know. There we go. There we go. Anyway. I'll read the daily thing. Oh, hello, Missy. Hello, Missy. You can come say hi to me now. Now that nobody's here, you can come say hi to me now. I'm such a brat. You're such a brat. You're so cute. You're such a cute brat. Yes, you're such a cute brat. Such a cute brat, Missy. Oh, such a brat. I love her, Missy. I love her. Oh, yes, I love her. I love her. Love her. Love her. Even when her is a trap. Even when her is a trap. I love her. See? That's my Missy girl. There's a Missy. I miss her, miss her, missing. I miss her. I always miss her. Yes, I do. I always miss her. I always miss her. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I miss her little traps. Little, yeah, little traps. You just want to tag. You just want to tag down. Yes, you just want to tag. Oh, yes, your paper top. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You're so darn cute. I like you. Oh my god. Yes, I do. Anyway, sorry. I got somebody here. Hi, Ice, what's up? How you doing? I was just playing with my cat, my kitty cat. She's too darn cute. Yeah, right there. That's a missing girl. She's a trap, total trap. Yeah, so totally trap. I think she just wants to play more. How you doing? I was just getting ready to read Believing in Myself. Oh, you're so cute. You just need to go away, Missy. You should be against the law to be so cute. Seriously. So we are on November, what, 19th? 19th. Or 21st. We're on the 21st. Oh my gosh. How the fucking time's flying. Wonderful. We're on the 21st. Hear that, Missy? We're from the 19th to the 21st. We just like skipped like 3 days already. Seriously. Come here. Come here. Be part of the show, man. Be part of the show, Missy. Yeah. Be part of it. See? she's she's like the nervous one of them all. You're my baby, my Mr. Baby. She'll sit across the room and be like, "Oh yeah, I see you. I'm not gonna come." Anyway, yeah, you keep them coming, okay? November 21st. History is the record of an encounter between character and circumstance. Donald Crichton. The history of the world is a terrible and wonderful story of the contest between people and their circumstances. From the invention of the wheel to the splitting of the atom, the human race has struggled to do what? The human race has struggled to do and to be, to leave its mark from one generation to the next, through revolutions and wars, inventions and discoveries. The choices that people made told the story. Dishonorable, um, dishonorable, cowardly decisions invariably have led us to corruption and destruction. Honorable, visionary decisions have led us to and advancement. I just lost my spot. The course of our own personal histories is much the same. Each life is a struggle between the opposing forces of deter, um, deterioration and creativity, hope
and despair, vision or blindness. And it's all together, like creativity, hope, and despair, vision or blindness. Alrighty, deterioration. Yeah, deteriorating. Because we know our own story. We are both the bad guys and the good guys. So what will we be? Until the hunt of Charlemagne, the wise Hitler, Gandhi, the death dealer of the peacemaker, we decide. We get to decide, really? We get to decide what? Yeah, yeah, tell him, Missy. Tell him. Tell that kitty right there. Tell him. You're looking at yourself, honey. You gonna need it. You're gonna need it, aren't you? Everyday circumstances await the content of character to determine if this moment will be a golden renaissance of a dark age or a dark age. Choosing is our privilege as well as a responsibility, whether we want it or not. The pen is in our hand. My self-esteem rides on the role I assigned myself. Sorry, guys, I didn't read that very well, but that's blaming myself thing today. Yeah, it didn't come out very well. But sorry. Oh yes, oh yes. Oh, I have a message that's held. Oh, okay. You fucking drug addict. Go get a damn job. Oh, how rude. How rude can people be, right? I don't know. It's not nice at all, but whatever. I'm, I'm sure they're the ones guilty of it, but because that's usually how it is anymore. The accusers are the actual abusers. Because people like me don't really say a freaking thing hardly, right? Yeah, about what I should damn do. Damn yourself. Quit damning people. How about that'd be great. Quit saying God damn it because you're damning it. Anything God is, right? Quit it. Alright, that's all I ask. Oh, oh, celebrating. Yes, oh yes. My son was here earlier. You're gonna bite me? Meow, 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 meow. Come here. Get over here then. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, well, I didn't hold it in review if you saw it. So why is it telling me that it's holding it in review? Wonder. Oh, that's pretty. I don't know where he came from. It's one political that maybe I mean, like I had. I don't get very good signal in here. Obviously, it's the architect system. It's supposed to be Bluetooth. But I'm not for some reason. So I don't know. Hit it with a big O. But high brownies and whatever. I don't know. That must be what you call a troll or something. I haven't had time finding a place for this phone to get signal. Yes, I just don't get signal. Oh shoot, there's another message. Help in review. What the fuck? I got my first troll, really? Okay. I'm gonna have to call Mr. Mission over and tell him to deal with it. Huh. Something. I don't know. Are you guys seeing these messages though? Obviously, you saw that one, so I don't know how to put this to work, Let's see. Or can be seen. Yeah, I got another. Guess maybe I better. What is this? Add a sticker? No. What is going on here? Somebody, oh, somebody take my live here. stop it and start again. Maybe I'll get Austin, start another one sometime. Sorry, I guess this is not the day. But I hope everybody's well and doing well. I'm not seeing anything else. Anybody else here? I don't think so. Yeah, them trolls, I guess. Is that what Mr. Mission really does? Mr. Mission? If that's what you do, well, you're an asshole. I don't come troll your channel. I just come talk to you. Which I wish somebody would just come talk to me, but obviously, I'm not somebody to talk to, so yeah. So be it. Deal with it, Tammy. Just deal with it. Gotta love it. See a reviewed thing. I'm the type of person that don't want anybody to say what they want, but that's kind of rude, you know. What the fuck gives you any reason to even say that? You just go on every live and say that? I don't know. I don't know what else you're saying, but it's helped for me too until I figure out how to see the review. Thank you, YouTube, for protecting me from assholes, right? Yeah, I guess I probably need that. That's what my helmet's for, you know. I have a helmet. I wear it. It's called handicap or something like that, or lame. I'm just a lame one. To this world, anyway. That's what you can say. So, will Christ return in form to earth someday? I stand here to remind you that within your own being is the Christ that you seek. As for the embodiment of the brilliant light, I think not. Sorry. Shooting a wheeze and wah wah. Okay. Others can take that light for themselves. They then become teachers in the name of and in the empowerment of the central brilliance. Remember that the spark is lighted from the center, and the light is available to everyone. That blinding flash exists in all of you. You know that Lucifer part? That Lucifer? That little dot that you see when you're falling asleep, or you shut your eyes and you just try to get it and it just disappears? Yeah. Yep, we don't have one of them. So, where was it? Okay, remember that the spark is lighted from the center and the light is available to everyone. That blinding flash exists in all of you. As realization comes into human form, it glows with its own light, and this can be seen as Christ consciousness returned. Vanity is the need to establish a pleasant connection with the self. Be patient and gentle with it. Once you have learned to admire yourself, which indeed makes you a narcissist, by the way. I am not good at this, okay? I'm not good at this. Right? Admiring yourself, yes, which indeed is absolutely deserved, then you will go deeper, for you will have found at least the shell of security. Let me remind you that beneath the vanity may lie a trap. Oh, what a trap. And you know this one very well. I point it out to you so that you can become free of it. That trap. Like Missy, my cat. Missy's a trap. So once you have loved yourself on the surface and have felt vain in in that regard, there develops the gnawing doubt that you are never seen for who you really are. Never seen for who you really are. Yeah. That you are only seen for the mask that you wear. That you have learned to present that mask. That the mask of us. Right? Once you find that your vanity has become a trap, you will begin to let it go, for it no longer serves your purpose. But never doubt the value of it. It is only a misrepresentation of what you are truly seeking. But then, if you will stand and look around you in your world, isn't everything? Please talk about anger. It's such a spiritual downer. What are some practical ways to deal with it? That's a good one for me, right? Deal with this anger. Right? Such fucking anger. Stop calling it a spiritual downer for one. The fact that you can spontaneously feel anything is a joy and a remarkable gift. And are you aware of how many human beings believe they must filter even the most intense emotions through the intellect in order to maintain control? A most painful circumstance it is. Celebrate your spontaneity. It is not a spiritual downer, but an indication that if your anger can erupt, so can your heart open, and so can God speak with you. So is that how anger is a healthy emotion? Because I don't understand it. Anger is a protective device. Oh yeah, it is quite enough for you to experience your anger. Nothing more is need to be done with it. Yeah, no rapist, the therapist, right? We don't need no rapist telling us that we're angry. I'm sorry. Maybe the anger management movie might help you. Making you angry. I don't know. Underneath anger is always fear, and underneath fear is always longing. Fear. Fear is one of the major cornerstones of the karmic condition. It speaks to the distrust of eternal love. It is a disbelief in yourself. It is an extreme perversion of truth and light and love, which is precisely what your world is all about. The healing of the extreme distortions of truth and light and love. Fear is a fungus that grows rapidly in dark places of the consciousness. It is the most powerful of doors, the closes off the word. That closes off the word and the light of God. Fear is the dragon at the gate. It is denial of light, and denial of light is resistance to God. It is the falsehood that separates you from God. So, what are we really afraid of? You fear humiliation. You fear to be wrong. You fear that if your knowing is brought into your human experience, it will dissolve. And you fear to trust truth. And you fear to love in an imperfect world. You can allay fear through prayer, through meditation, through clear thinking. Just try to accept your areas of ignorance and reluctance as the parent accepts the unreasonableness of the child. Understand what this darkness is saying by accepting that erroneous thought process into your own being. You bring it under your you bring it under your roof and are able to alter it to the light. Listen to your fear with a wise ear. What are you afraid of in life? What are you afraid of in yourself? You must challenge fear and ask it what it means to say as you go into the fear with eyes open, heart open, and courage flowing freely. You will see that fear is only an empty room. Fear is only as strong as your avoidance of it. The greater your reluctance to see the fear and to accept it and embrace it, the more power you allow it. So feel the fear and do it anyway. That's the book that got me. Oh, we got some more comments here again. Hi, how you doing? Eva, I love you not. I support you. Okay, that's not. No, oh, that's not nice. Yeah, that other one. Yeah, can you guys see those? Yeah, that's stupid. But whatever. It says on my thing. It's like blocking it out for me actually. So yeah, pretty weird. Anyway, I'm just reading. Welcome to my channel. Fear is unknown. It is the imagination. It is not reality. There is nothing to fear in the universe, even death, which is a fundamental truth and a necessity in your particular scale of development, has nothing to fear in it. Rest yourselves in the reality of God's eternal and everlasting presence, and know that there are plans deeper, and there is consciousness wiser and loving hearts far more powerful than any that walk your earth. And I bless you with the awareness of your eternal safety. It is not a matter of destroying fear, but of knowing its nature and of seeing it as a less powerful force than the power of love. Fear is a trick, a sham, a, sleight of the hand. It is illusion. The master magicians are heavily at work in your world. Demand to see what's up the sleeve, behind the back, and underneath the table. Expose the magician for what he is. The magician of fear is a humbling one, that's for sure. Fear is only looking in the mirror and making faces at oneself. Fear of the unknown is forgetfulness. There is no such thing as the unknown to the soul. There is a natural fear and resistance when one does not recall one's own divinity. You are safe. You are safe. You are infinitely safe. Oh, my dears, if I could only make it possible for you to experience the loving, gentle kindness of the universe, the balance, the fairness, the sweetness, and the joy, there would never be another moment of fear in your entire lives. And that is true. The serpent in the Garden of Eden is not sexuality, it is doubt. Yeah, and that's what serpent in the garden gave me is doubt. Doubt. Oh, you're so cute, Missy. You're so cute. Oh, you're so darn cute. Do you doubt that you are here as a spirit being to function within a physical reality? Of course you do. Let me assure you that this is a common misconception. There is all too often a feeling of non worth, of limitation, at times of hopelessness and futility because of the constrictions of the physical body. Yet, within the structure of your physical realm, great progress can be made. This is the purpose of reincarnation. As long as there is a material body, you are carrying doubt. Do not despise your doubting. That is the human condition. When there is no more doubt, you do not need to be human no more. Know that your every step is unerringly guided on a perfect route to your destination. Whatever you may consider to be a side road is not a side road at all, but the best of all possible paths. Hi, Alex Brown. How you doing? Welcome to my channel. And Casey, Casey Lee, amazing. Casey Lee, amazing. Hello. But the best of all possible paths. It is only by going into the caverns of doubt that you find the truth and the light. At times of giant steps in the soul's evolutionary expansion, there are moments of great insecurity. Let me offer you an analogy. Analogy. When you take your foot from one rung of a ladder to put it on the next, there is nothing for your foot to stand on for the brief moment. But if you were to focus all of your attention and identify all of your reality with that sole of that suspended foot, you would truly be in a state of terror. You do not see that the hands are holding the sides of the ladder, or the other foot that is firmly planted on the rung beneath. So, would you speak about ridding oneself of attachment? Okay. Would you speak about ridding oneself of attachment? It depends on what you feel attached to. There is nothing wrong with attachment if it does not limit you. Attachment in the negative sense is aligning yourself with a physically materialized reality and saying, this is where I'm safe, and this is where I have power, and this is where I'm going to stay. Right? But physical things can be beautiful, and there is a joy in beauty. It is not the material object that is the joy, it is your appreciation of the object. And whatever can teach you joy and pleasure has value because joy is what fills your lamps, people. You gotta have joy. Do you have joy in living at all? Because I'm having a hard time finding it. I don't know. But you can buy joy too, I guess. Because you can't buy love. It's not, you gotta go buy it if you're one of the virgins that don't have their lamps filled. You know what I mean? Because those virgins that do, they can't afford it either. Sorry. Yeah. If detachment were the order of the day, then oneness would be eliminated from your physical schoolroom. How would oneness then be learned? One needs to practice with that sort of thing. How would you begin to understand where you yourself avoid or interfere? With the very oneness you are seeking to learn, without the reaching or the longing and the need for each other, there would be no human community. One of the fondest dreams that we in spirit hold is that of that moment when all souls, all hearts, and all hands will reach out to touch each other. There will be no detachment then, only a glorious light. Just to add a note of encouragement, this is beginning to happen now. How do we experience painful circumstances without becoming embittered by them? By seeing them as lessons and not as retribution. Trust life. My friends, however far afield life seems to take you, and this trip is necessary. You have come to a, traverse a wide terrain of experience in order to verify where truth lies. And where your distortion is in that terrain, you will then be able to return to your home center, your soul self, refreshed and wiser, of course. Hi, windscreen. I see you there. How you doing? Whatever satellite goals may be found in life, The singular intent is always the soul's process of becoming one with self and God. Be comforted and walk your life in light and trust, for nothing will come to you that is not meant to be. There is nothing that can happen in your life that in any way threatens your soul. Indeed, all of life experience enhances its awareness, and there is nothing that does not serve the process of your soul's growth. Until there is fundamental trust, there will always be that sense that something is left undone, that something is waiting in the wings to change or to charge out. During a moment of joyous fulfillment, to shout, "Aha! You forgot about this one. You're not perfect after all," and the sky will come tumbling down. Yeah. Joyous God within you, standing up, shaking himself off, and beginning to smile. In your joy, you are celebrating God. You're celebrating the feast of life. This is not something to be be denigrated on the grounds that there is more to life than pleasure. Certainly, there is more. There is an infinity of more. One is never finished. With the process of growth, of seeking, serving, loving, and the delights of the physical world are the delights of the spirit world. It is all one. Your human joy will not take you away from your love for God. Love is love. If you cannot tolerate human bliss, how will you ever withstand the bliss of eternal oneness? Um, Hi chat to the ones that are nice and not drop shitty comments as soon as they turn up. Thank you. I wish. Yeah, well, you get them. You get them. I think they just come in and just say hi, 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 and then just go away. But some stay. Just depends on if you like it. If you don't like it, just move on. Move on. If it's really crappy, well, then say something and move on. I don't know. I don't know. I don't worry about it. But thank you. Um, if you were to check into the consciousness of a rock, you would find a great deal of pleasure there. You would find a sense of oneness that is comforting, a delight in being a rock. In the flow of its being, a rock is in a state of ecstasy. Ecstasy cannot be scaled on a rating from 1 to 10. It is ecstasy. Why are you all so suspicious of joy and softness? Is this not also God's world? Joy is a natural ingredient of life. Your human beings tend to be hurried and pressured and thereby deny yourselves the exquisite pleasure of savoring your lives. In this way, a great amount of joy and sweetness goes unnoticed. If life is lived with care and attention, it will give you the sustenance and richness you long for. Allow yourself to renew your commitment to your lives and to yourselves many times a day. You feel that because you yearn for the warmth and the softness of life, that this will somehow lull into inactivity, that this will somehow lull you into inactivity. Must there always be a harsh outer reality to remind you of God? If you cannot trust beauty where you find it, how can you open your heart to oneness with God, which is eternal beauty? Would it not be more suited to the inner longing of each soul to envision eternal consciousness as a gentle laugh rather than a serious contemplation? Life is only ponderous when you are not connected to everlasting joy. A great deal of solemnity, solemnity serves no function. You need to laugh. You need to play, each in his own way. Childlike qualities are godlike qualities in their spontaneity and joy, even the foolishness and the fun, the dancing, the love, The surrender, the abandoned, the lightness are part of the growing, pulsating human being that is a blessing to your world. God did not design pain and suffering. Resistance designed pain and suffering. God will, God's will is to light the world with peace, joy, health, and abundance, and with the awareness that this is a temporary stopover. Joy is learning. Joy is experiencing without pain. Once you have accepted without question that you exist in eternity as a conscious being, that we in spirit exist, that God exists, then the outer circumstances of your life will lighten perceptibly. You will not create or call to you any darkness or distortion. It does not mean that there will be one section of your geographical earth called Eden, but it means that you will have an awareness of the true meaning of these events. As long as you inhabit the physical body, you will be subject to the physical world, yet the experience will be totally different. There will be no pain. This is not compromise. This is not compromise. It is not saying, well, then I understand I am eternal, and so this agony doesn't mean anything. No, no. You will experience no agony, literally, as well as figuratively and conceptually. This is not rationalization. That would be a trap. Is a total absorption in the truth because you see pain and joy through the telescope of past human teachings. You find it difficult to believe that you can exist in a state of joy where pain can be dissolved into the reality of joy without denial. Joy simply alters pain's existence. Yeah, joy fills your oil, guys. Your oil lamps. Joy. Joy, joy, joy. Be nice to have grace too, But I don't seem to be joyful or graceful anymore. You need to know the great power that lies in active visualization. Vision is spiritual reality, and all things that exist in your world first exist in spirit. The concept come the concept comes first, then the physical, which is denser matter, follows. Once you challenge your preconceptions, they become misconceptions. The diameters of diameters of your awareness expand. Uh, A wall, for instance, is no longer only a wall, but a bit of moving and vibrating consciousness. Okay, so a wall, for instance, is no longer only a wall, but a bit of moving, vibrating consciousness. Okay. Anything that can be envisioned can be brought into your physical reality. Whenever the feeling comes over you that you have no choices, I urge you to call a halt to everything. This is a trick you play on yourself to avoid having to assume the responsibility and therefore the joy of life. Envision instead what what it is you truly want and test it. Be careful of this, my friends, because if you envision something quite casually and do it with conviction, even though you may not be sure you want it, it will manifest. This is neither magic nor false hope. It is reality of the power of your creative impulse. It's your power, your power. Yeah. This is why it is so important to develop self awareness to the depths of your ability so that no creation can come about in your life without your having made the choice. You have designed your life yourself. You have created nothing in your outer reality that is stranger that is a stranger to you. The inestimable joy of human manifestation is to see around you in what seem to be the outer circumstances what you truly believe as a soul. Look at your physical manifestation as a symbol, and view your body as an extension of your soul, the spoken word of your being. Your life is not your master, it is your child. Your joy of creation must not be limited to humankind. There is, for instance, a great deal of enjoyment in consciousness creating a portion of itself in the form of other beings that exist in your world. Uh-oh. I hear something. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Anyway, um, in the form of other beings that exist in your world, what delight you would experience in creating from your own consciousness a beautiful flower. What pleasure to a sleek cat or monstrous elephant. I am not being fanciful here. I am explaining the way consciousness creates its own self for exploration. So where in the consciousness of the universe there is the proclivity to experience oneself as a flower, then a flower evolves. Since you are in human form, it is understandably difficult to think of yourself as having consciousness beyond your humanness and still choosing to create a portion of yourself as a lesser being. So I will put that aside and let your imagination play. You can create for yourself a garden of bliss if you believe in it, and you can create for yourself intolerable suffering if you believe that is that it is necessary. This is not intellectual. None of you wants to suffer, but there are belief systems that are handed down from generation to generation that perpetuate these beliefs. And it would be interesting for you to speak to the oldest members of your family and ask them about the family superstitions or the beliefs within which you have lived your life. It will be illuminating for you. Yeah, the tree of life, yes. Yeah, it's all about the body. I guess we're all trees. Redwood trees, probably. Aren't they the oldest ones? I don't know. Some of us are, anyway. I don't know. Is working for material things a hindrance to our spiritual purpose? Not if you see material things as materialized consciousness. When one is in the material world, one must have food and clothing, and one desires a home that is beautiful, comfortable, and a place to be. Of course, we do. These are the accoutrements of self love. When self love is truly acknowledged, you will not deny yourself any of these things. Self love will open your hands to receive as well as to give. And certainly it is not taking something away from someone else. Yeah. Your universe is boundless. There is more than enough of everything for everyone. How does one take in the bounty that is there? What does one do to deserve opulence? You think this is not a difficulty? Wait and see. Until such a time when you have mastered the art of receiving, you must supply yourselves with the material necessities. If you can release your guilt about money and accept it as a part of the divine universe and the physical reality of your earth, you will see that it has no more or less power than you give it. It is a necessity. You all hold the sense of money too tightly. Sometimes I don't ask for success on the physical plane because it feels like I should find joy in what is here and now, and I get confused about wanting for myself. Do you have any feelings on this? I have very strong feelings on that. There is a misconception permeating spiritual practice, permeating, yeah, that says you must want nothing in order to have everything. If that is taken into context in which it was given, the want that is referred to there is greed. However, when there is desire to taste the abundance of your world and to receive it with love, I see no reason at all why you should not have it. There is only conflict where you believe there is a separation between the bounty in your world and the bounty of God's love. When you had a body, what did you do for a living, Emmanuel? Yeah, this is Emmanuel, by the way. Emmanuel. Yeah. We have an Emmanuel. What would Jesus do? Incarnation, I was somebody very much like you, with one exception, in that I followed my heart without one shred of guilt, regret, or fear. I became a teacher, and I walked around your world and I allowed myself to be touched with love, and I gave it back wherever I could. I'll tell you something else. I was rich, not perhaps in the coinage that is so rigidly associated with wealth, but I was rich, and I never went a day without enough to eat. I never went a night without a wonderful place to sleep, and I had my home, I had my work, and I had my integrity. You, dear souls, walk so cautiously as you enter the Garden of Eden. Don't you know that it's your rightful home? There is such fear when the thought of complete fulfillment comes into your consciousness. You are so identified with the seeking that the finding becomes a threat. Indeed, it is the most difficult thing in the entire human experience to claim yourself, your life, your light, and your truth, and your God. It's the hardest part of it all, knowing that every chance that you get along your way sits in, or every chance that you get along your way, sit in as much light as you can. Find as much joy and pleasure as you are able, at no one's expense, of course, for that is not pleasure. Push no one else out of the way, for that is pain. But go where there is real pleasure, the pleasure of self recognition and love, the pleasure of seeing another with gentleness and compassion. These are the real and abiding pleasures. Physicality can be pleasurable, sexuality can be pleasurable when there is love. Yeah. The ultimate challenge to the illusion is love. So love yourself. Love others as you love yourself. Yeah, that's our problem. We don't love ourselves because we're not supposed to. We become narcissists, don't you know? That's just ridiculous. I can't even believe it. Hey, whatever. The ultimate challenge to the illusion is love. So love yourself. Love others as you love yourself. You certainly cannot love any more than that because love is love. And once it's there, it spreads out evenly in all directions. Celebrate your life. Bring pleasure into it wherever you can, and see the pleasure as truth, not as some secret sin. For if you judge pleasure in the context of the illusion, then you lose the pleasure, and it keeps you in the schoolroom longer. It really does. For you see, suffering is not the way to light and to heaven. Pleasure is real pleasure, not false pleasure. And you all know the difference. You all know when you fail yourselves, you make yourself sick. You do foolish things, you become destructive, and then you know you have betrayed yourselves. When you begin to blossom and glow and dance down the street, and because you are happy and you know the illusion is your creation, here for your own education, you can then alter it anytime you want, simply by the act of self love. Then you are free. You are preparing your pathway home whenever you are ready to come. In the meantime, you are teaching many others the absolute truth of God's existence, and you and I and all of us have a great deal of work to do. But it is not to be our, our arduous. Yeah, it is to be pleasure. And when it is not, please don't feel noble. Don't feel that somehow you are doing it right because it is difficult. Stop it at the very moment the pleasure leaves you and say, "What have I forgotten?" And if you are centered and in truth, the answer will be, "Oh, I have forgotten that I am God." Then you will take the remembering back into your human experience and you will dance again. And we in spirit will dance with you. Then the task of fulfilling God's plan of salvation will go very quickly, for God is love, and pleasure is love, and joy is love, and truth is love, and all things that are light. You will find that out, whether you believe me now or not. Soon enough you will. For you will grow through the lifetime, and you will age, and you will die. And I cannot imagine saying a more pleasant and encouraging thing to you. For if you were to remain in this illusion, I cannot tell you how unhappy you would be, even though at the moment you believe you really want to. You will stay until your task is done and your lessons are learned, and then we will all begin again in some other dimension to create in the name of God. God bless you. Yep. Okay, I'm done. Good seeing you guys. Whoever's left, I just wanted to come on and say I have my other channel, my Robinson Show channel. That Green Sage Mr. Purdy was about, right? That Robinson Caruso person, yeah. I got it back, and I got enough to go live on it. I never went live on it though. So I will maybe continue some things on that one. I don't know. What's up, y'all? Love you.